Unfortunately, in today's society, there are many minority groups that exist within the community, and one of these groups includes people with disabilities. To say that a person has a disability means they generally have a condition which may restrict their mental, sensory, or mobility functions to undertake or perform a task in the same way as a person without a disability. The Disability Discrimination Act identifies the following categories of disability: physical, intellectual, psychiatric, sensory, and neurological. Today's clip will further explore how people with disabilities experience the feeling of oppression and discrimination, the different stereotypes created about people with disabilities, the 4 models of attitude formation and how they influence our attitude towards people with disabilities, and the idea of language of inclusivity. Oppression refers to a situation in which people are governed in an unfair and cruel way and prevented from having opportunities and freedom. This feeling of oppression is generally associated with people with disabilities as they are viewed quite differently and compared to others in society who don't have a disability. What comes to your mind when you hear or see the word disability? Do you think of a person in a wheelchair? Or maybe it might be someone you know personally or who may know of. Maybe you think of a specific type of disability. None of these answers are wrong. Our own answers to this question are our own preconceived ideas that we have developed over time that quite possibly have been influenced by someone or something. Stereotypes have a huge impact on our own thoughts and opinions about people with disabilities. What are some stereotypes that you know or may have heard of in regards to people with disabilities?
They are unable to take care of themselves, they are unfit for employment, they are helpless and dependent, and they are best suited for unskilled work.
They deserve pity, they can lead a productive and fulfilling life. People with disabilities are sick and are in constant pain, and they are brave and heroic for living with their disability. These stereotypes arise from the 4 models of attitude formation: family, experiences, media, and cognitive dissonance. The 4 models of attitude formation can influence our attitudes towards people with disabilities. How do the models of attitude formation shape your attitude towards people with disabilities?
Being someone who has a family member with a disability has proven that the stereotypes that are created about people with disabilities aren't true and that they shouldn't be viewed as a minority group within society. I also think that the media plays a significant role in processing these stereotypes and making others view people with disabilities negatively. The media does this through portraying negative images and opinions about people with disabilities.
My own personal experiences of working with people with disabilities has helped form my attitudes towards them. I always see the media portraying people with disabilities negatively and the different stereotypes that have been created about them. And from my own personal experiences of working with people with disabilities, I disagree with how the media presents them, as I believe they shouldn't be a minority group within society, and that they should be viewed and valued like any other human being without a disability. Is language of inclusivity important when talking about people with disabilities?
Inclusive language enables everyone to feel that they are being reflected in what is being said. Inclusive language puts emphasis on the person rather than on the disability the person may have. Language of inclusivity is highly important when talking about people with disabilities as it avoids false assumptions about them and helps to promote respectful relationships.
People with disabilities experience language that is exclusive, such as being referred to as handicapped, the blind, and the disabled. This type of language emphasises the disability rather than the person, which can lead to derogatory labelling, stereotyping, and the idea of devaluating them as a human being. Let's meet Billy. Billy is a young child with a diagnosis of autism. The correct way to refer to Billy is to say, Billy is a child with autism, or Billy is a child who has autism. This is inclusive language. The incorrect way to refer to Billy is by saying Billy is an autistic child, or Billy is a child who is autistic. This use of exclusive language is putting emphasis on autism as the disability rather than Billy as a person. As we can see, different people will have their own attitudes and opinions about specific members of society, just like people with disabilities. These attitudes are formed within the 4 models of attitude formation and will differ from all individuals within society. Attitudes that are formed can either be positive or negative. However, the negative attitudes and beliefs about people with disabilities has a significant impact on why they are classified as a minority group within today's society.